Welcome to the next guest from the 973 show. And with me today is the dancer, mother, and author, Amna Saltanat Ara Shaikh. Welcome to the podcast, Amna.
Good evening, Raji. Thank you so much for having me here and giving me the opportunity to come and voice my thoughts and message.
Did I describe you right? A dancer, mother, and an author. Which hat would you like to begin with?
Actually, Raji, if you ask me none of them, I would
Okay.
like... Yeah.
A different hat, which we
different
don't...
hat, yes. A small little girl.
Okay.
She was born with the passion of dancing.
Okay.
And with the dreams of serving the humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Right when I was a teenager, I had these dreams and I had this vision that I should be doing something different so that when I die, people should remember me and not just like an ordinary life, you know. I would think that why God, why I'm here in this world, 10, 11-year-old. So I guess the universe was preparing me, you know. I was born with prepared for whatever was to come in my life. So I would like to start from there. People say that, you know, we love this thing since you're born, and I used to say how, and then now I realize that yes, you can, you know, you can born with a passion. So I was born with the passion of dance and just dance and music. And as I grew older, I started joining dance classes different places in Pakistan and enjoyed dancing just as a dance. Then I got married and I became a mother of a beautiful son who is differently able. His name is Muhammad Shahzeb, and he gave me a purpose of my life, my sole purpose.
Right.
During, you know, his birth was really challenging for us in the sense that there was a lot of physical and mental stress because we had to take care of him. He was born with a weight of 1.08 kgs. So during 2-3 years, I went under a lot of health issues, and I realized that dance helped me a lot, immensely, coming out of those physical and mental issues, stress, back problems, which normally, you know, mothers would have if they don't take time to take care of themselves. Then I realized that if dance can be so much helpful for me, it can be helpful for others
Many
also.
others, yes.
And every time I used to dance, I would be very happy, and I would exchange this energy with my son. He would be happy too, and he loves to dance with me.
All right.
Yeah. So I also promised God as a payback that I will help others whenever God will give me an opportunity. So when God gave me an opportunity, a platform in the form of a fitness studio, I remembered my promise, and it's the first inclusive studio in Bahrain. My studio and my co-trainers are certified and trained to handle people on the spectrum. And the main reason and the basic vision is just to provide them with the space which makes them happy, lovable, which provides them inclusion. So we do inclusive workshops.
Okay.
We are doing
it is a 365
fitness
365
yes,
fitness studio, right?
Yes, fitness 365 dance workout studio. So, and you can see when they are dancing, and it's good for us also because when we are these kids, we are so present. You don't even care what is happening outside the studio. You are so present with these kids. It's a beautiful life God has given me, and I'm really thoroughly enjoying it. My studio, my book, they're all very much interconnected.
Yes, we will come to that book. Before that, I must say that I'm very impressed at the way you've taken the challenge and the giving back attitude in you. It's indeed beautiful to hear that. As we know, raising a child is not easy. And raising a special child is all the more challenging, and that's why we always read and see and hear that God chooses special angels to bring up these special children. So I'm very happy and proud to be seated with a very special woman. Not only that, someone who has turned that challenge into an opportunity for many others out there. And yes, you're a dancer, you have that passion in you, you enjoy dancing. But then coming to the book, Manifest, the Differently Abled, it's a beautiful title as well, and I think you've turned your experience into a creativity which can help others out there. Can we see the book, please?
Yes, sure. This is the book.
Manifest, Differently Able. Would you tell us about the title first?
Sure. And I would also like to mention here that the cover page is also designed by an autistic child.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
When I was writing my book, I knew who is going to design my cover.
Okay.
And I think the child, Rohit.
What is the name of the child?
Rohit.
Rohit, in Bahrain?
Yes, he's not in Bahrain. He's in Australia, but his mother is in Bahrain.
Okay.
And I don't think so anybody can do a justice to this cover than what Rohit did.
Okay.
So coming back to the topic, manifest differently able, as we all know, and nowadays, we hear this word manifest too much all around us. I actually manifested my child when I was 12 years old.
Okay.
And I realized it a few years back. Then I actually asked God for this life for my son, because I remember standing in a window and being asking God, I don't want a special life. I don't want an ordinary life. I want a special life, a life which, and I've written this poem also in the book. I actually asked God, I don't want an ordinary life.
Okay.
I want something special, which makes me stand up above all. And I would really get impressed when, somebody would die and strangers would cry in their death. And I was like, I want this death, I want this life. If I die, a stranger I think it's, your life is worth when you are at a service.
Okay.
And I didn't know that I'm manifesting something. And God gave me a beautiful son, and he's a character. Sometime I'll tell you about him. He's so cute, mashallah, and he's a center of our joy. And through him, since the day he was born, I felt myself like, he's a center of our joy, and I felt I'm like really blessed. But when I met, so that's why I wrote the title Manifest, because I manifested him.
Okay.
He gave me a sole purpose, and I think I hope that I'm able to make a difference in the society, and I hope that when I die, people remember me. And but I realized that I'm privileged when I met few parents who were not as privileged as I am, because they had to hide the birth of their child because they were scared that their families would not accept their child. And I met parents who had no idea or who had no resources where to go and what to do. Now the child is born, now they had no clue what to do with the child. Unlike me, I was guided with my family, by my friends. Each and every step I was guided. So I thought maybe God made me privileged so that I can help other people and help other mothers as much as I can. And the first person who asked me to write my book was my late father. At that time, I thought it's too early to write a book. But then it kept coming back to me. My friends, my co-workers, my family, they kept asking me, why don't you write a book? Why don't you write a book? And I thought, okay. So 2020, when we were all stuck in our houses, I said, okay, this is the best time. And it was not difficult for me to write it because I knew the story.
Yeah. You've been through it.
I knew exactly the story of my son and, my journey. The only thing which was challenging for me was how to pen it down.
Okay.
So I decided to make it very simple, a heart-to-heart conversation. And I believe that my sole purpose, because of my son, is to help these kids, these families, the parents, however way I can. So what I have realized, Raji, is that although there are so many people who are doing so much work, but still, when I see generally the behavior of the people or the attitude towards these
The special
the
needs.
special needs or differently able or neurodivergent, what you may ever say, I just say, I have so much work to do still,
Okay.
because it's just, it's just that somebody has to realize their responsibility. The parents, they have to realize their responsibility. As a parent, what is their responsibility? I keep telling my friends, send your kids, expose them. These kids were people on the spectrum. They deserve joy, love, security, inclusion in the society as much as any one of us in this room or in this world. You will be surprised, actually, one of the volunteers we have in our summer camps, which we are doing right now, and we encourage teenagers to come and work with us. I asked one of the volunteers, so what have you learned till now? And she said, Miss Amna, I used to be really scared of these kids.
True.
If I would see them in the mall,
That's a very natural
Yeah.
response.
Yeah.
I agree with it.
Yeah, I would be very scared. And I asked her, why scared? Why not curious, or why not, why scared? She said, I don't know. It was just, I just used to find them scary. And it was her perception. And I said, no. And she said, no, I know, they are anything but scary.
Okay.
So that, that, I'm sorry, that brought tears in my eyes. And I said, after this summer camp, you promised me that you're going to go out of in this world, and you're going to tell your friends that they are not scary.
Scary, yeah.
I'm sorry, just, it's very sad situation out there. And I believe that I want to quote one of my favorite quotes from Mother Teresa. I cannot change the whole world, but I can cast a stone in the ocean and create ripples, small ripples in the ocean, which can, like, small changes.
Well, that's very emotional, Amna, for sharing this bit about the teenager. And this stigma aspect, I don't think it is limited only to the special needs children. It is a global thing. For anything and everything, there is a stigma attached, and the change begins with tiny steps. And people like you out there are doing indeed a great job, inspiring others to follow footsteps. And this teenager, the way she has changed her perspective of special needs children is important, because they are the future generation. They are the ones who need to embrace this world as how it is.
So that's why I wrote this book, to switch on the light so people are not scared to enter the room.
Mm-hmm.
First, awareness should be there, then acceptance follows.
Correct.
If we are not aware, we don't accept. So it's a small step, small effort, and I would like my book to reach each and every person, I can.
Yeah. Thank you, Amna, for taking us through Manifest Differently Abled. And I would say, I haven't read it. Thank you for the copy. I would definitely read it. And I would want all of you to grab a copy of this book, not just as a piece which has come out from a special mother. I'm sure it has got a lot of lessons in it, so that we can embrace this world, not just mothers of special needs children or caregivers, but also as a world to embrace this universe that these mothers are living in, or these caregivers are living in, so that, like what the teenager before said, we're not scared of them anymore, but we take them into us, into our families, and welcome into our world. I'm so happy that you have penned your experiences, Amna. You've brought it out to light so that people like me and others out there would get inspired and understand and do the best that we can to be part of this change. Thank you very much for joining us on this show. Do you have anything else to add before you wind up?
I would just like to say thank you, first of all, for giving me this opportunity again. And I would like to send a message that these beautiful people, who are differently abled. They don't need your sympathy or empathy. They need your support, your love. They need inclusion in the society. So be inclusive, reach out to them, try to understand them, include them. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amna, for describing the community with the right word, and that is beautiful. Yes, and inclusivity is the word. To embrace this beauty that you just described, I know it's not easy, we cannot step into your shoes, but then we all can do that bit out there, yes. To which I would invite all of you to get deeper into this need for accepting the differently abled without a stigma. Let's encourage our children, our future generation, into understanding the situation out there and be a part of the change. Well, do wait for our inspiring, exciting, and engaging next guest from the 973 show.